there are subtle differences. And if I look at some of the language that we've seen from this administration, they keep reiterating that this relationship is ironclad. And I wonder at what point we protest too much here between South Korea and the United States, because things have changed, surely.
I think the important aspect is that both leaders feel that the alliance is the linchpin for security, peace and prosperity in the region.
And they do.
And for that, you'd have to have a denuclearized North Korea. So the South Koreans could be, the South Korean President Moon could be getting ahead of himself and saying, well, if we do get the North Koreans to agree to denuclearization, what do we do next? And then there would be engagement.
Perhaps that was campaign talk, and this situation changes when you're actually in charge.
No comment on that one, Scarlet. It is interesting, actually, that the Treasury Secretary was asked to define success here, and he sort of struggled to pinpoint that. But previously he'd said, look at Iran. Actually, what we achieved in Iran is that we brought them to the negotiating table. Right. Do you think sanctions here in North Korea, further sanctions, will actually work?
Well, in the case of Iran, comprehensive sanctions were in place for 6 years before Iran went to the agreement with P5+1. Sanctions on the oil sector from the EU were in place for 4 years, no oil imports from Iran into the EU. So they were very tough sanctions. Secondary sanctions were put into place. Sanctions on insurance on tankers were put into place. Iran was hit by a wide range of sanctions. We're not there yet with North Korea, although the framework is being put into place over the past year by the UN and by the U.S.
Yes.
The Treasury Secretary was also very clear about how this is in no way targeting China, even as it targets a Chinese-based bank. I wonder, though, whether that creates complications for China and the U.S. to work together towards figuring out how to resolve this North Korean situation. It appeared that the president had put a lot of he had invested a lot of hope in China getting something out of this relationship that didn't come to pass.
Well, it's still so early, as I said before. It will take time for these sanctions to be to have any effect, but they have to be comprehensive. They can't be piecemeal. They have to be sustained. And of course, North Korea seems to be implacable on its position in regard to nuclear weapons. I mean, negotiations have been going on for 20 years now, and finally, a tough sanctions regime is being assembled.
So, but China won't. China's role here doesn't change because of these sanctions?
China is actually stepping up bit by bit.
Okay.
The other day, CNBC announced that China National Petroleum Corporation that had shut down oil shipments to North Korea.